Hey guys and gals, it's Mike White with Crystal DTF. So today we're going to do a version of this design. So I really actually believe in this design. I feel like that's a problem with college all over the world. So here we go. So we're just going to download the design and open it up with Adobe Photoshop. And it's off of a t-shirt. I've tried to find this design and I was not successful. So we're just going to go ahead and grab this part of it. Control C, Control Shift V, and then we'll turn off this other part. And then we're going to grab this color and do Control Shift New and just paint that color behind so it's not distracting. And then we'll crop in. So I'm holding Alt as I crop, and I'm just going to scoot it over and just put that right in the center. Now we're going to export that as a PNG. And I'm just putting it in my downloads folder. I'll start a new folder. All right, so I got a new folder here. We're going to call this Less College, More Trade, Skull and Diploma. So we're calling it that because we might have other designs in the future that are less college, more trade. So we want to say something about the design, and then we want to say something, name the design, and then some, feature of the design. So we're doing both things. All right, and I'm just going to call this skull. All right. Now we're going to go to ChatGPT, and we're going to ask it to recreate and redraw this. Okay, and there's our prompt. And we're just going to let it go. And we're going to copy it. We're going to go to Gemini. We're going to paste it. And we're going to copy it. And we're going to paste it. And then we are going to tell it to create image and let it go so that we get two versions from two different AI engines. Now, while those are thinking, we're going to revert this. So just click and hit F12. We don't want to completely steal this design. We want to come up with something that's our own twist on it, but we can do the same layout and everything else. So I'm just going to select around this again, and we'll just click Remove. All right, so we've got that. And I'm just going to fix this part at the bottom. Let's actually just grab our brush tool and select this. And we'll move this stupid thing out of our way. We'll clean that up. All right. And then we're just going to make sure that our background color is what we need it to be. And just give ourselves a little more room around the design. Okay. And then we're going to just hit File, Export as PNG. I'm going to put this, and we'll call this Typography. And save that. Okay, I'm actually not happy with either of these. So we're going to work from these, though, and try to come up with something that's more similar to the original. But also, just a little bit, we're going to remove that ribbon and stuff. So we'll download this. I asked it not to copy, and it hasn't. And we'll download this as well. All right, we'll grab both of those and we'll put those in our concepts. Okay. And this one, the ChatGPT is superior. We'll open that with Photoshop. And we're just going to try to remove these ribbons. So we're just going to select around them. We're going to follow the contours pretty exactly so that we can let Photoshop's remove tool know exactly what we want to remove. Okay, let's just remove that. Awesome. We'll just go ahead and save. Well, let's merge it down. And then hit Control S to save it. And so I'll just call this one Straight On. And we'll call this one, oops, rename angle reference. All right, and we'll go back up here to ChatGPT and we'll start a new chat. And there's the prompt we're going to go for. And we'll do the same thing. We'll go to Gemini and we'll copy that. This is kind of how you get what you want. I'm going to upload those so it gets the names. Copy that message. Tell it to create image and let it go. Okay, so let's start working on our typography. So we're going to go to ChatGPT again. And we're going to upload that reference and write a prompt. All right, and there's our prompt for the typography. So we're just going to copy that. Not happy at all with this, but I may just grab it just in case. Let's just refresh it. It seems to be having a problem. We'll paste that. We'll copy this. We'll tell it to images and let it go. Ooh, getting close over here. Let's just take a look at this. Let's see what it's like flipped. Edit. Oh, it's image. Is it adjustments? No, let's just unlock it. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. So yeah, I think it's okay if that's on this side. All we need is this now straightened out. Okay, we'll save this. Go back here because it's our only chance. Ooh, I like that. I like the collegiate look. We'll start a new chat here. Didn't expect this to be so difficult. We'll upload this. And we'll do a prompt. Okay, and that's the prompt I'm going with. I'm going to download this one too, just in case. We'll start a new chat. Copy and paste. See what Gemini can do. Okay, and Gemini has given us something that's decent. You know, I actually don't mind the extra detail on this. Let's see what chat comes up with. I'm going to take both of our typography options and put them in our folder. So we're going to put those in pieces as we're starting to have parts that are actually worthy of keeping. So we got two options. And then we've got this guy. It just can't do it, can it? It just cannot make sense of that. So let's download this. Yeah. Just looking at this, we might just run with this one, even though I do prefer the style that it's rendering this. Yeah, I think we're going to run with this one. I'm going to give us one more chance here. I told her to switch the tassel and remove the writing and make sure the art style is consistent, which we can remove the writing in Photoshop if we need to. Okay, so let's go back to our original. We've got that here. And we're just going to hit revert, F12. And I'm going to make it large by just increasing the size, which will destroy the quality, of course, but we don't care because we're recreating all the assets. So let's just go ahead and make this 18 inches in width. So we've got plenty of room. Control 1, Control 0. And I've just got to even it up. So we'll just grab our crop tool and just scoot it over here. Okay, I can't seem to get chat to do the right thing. I'm obsessing over the tassel. We may have to move it in Photoshop, but it's got to be on the other side of the cap to be a graduate, I think. Okay, well, while that's working, we can at least start working on our typography. So here's our pieces. And this one, we're going to have to upscale. No, this one we'll have to upscale. So this one, we'll pull that in. So ChatGPT actually has a problem with images, and you can't, import it into Inkscape without upscaling it. Okay, I think we finally have a working skull here. Okay, so we're just going to go in Inkscape. We're going to do File New. And we're going to drag this option in. Hit OK. And I'm just going to do trace bitmap. So it's under path and then trace bitmap. I'm just looking at the layout. I think everything's pretty great. Let's just go ahead and hit apply on this. And then I'm going to do delete the image. Control-Shift-R to fit it to the document. Let's select this, and then we'll do Control-Shift-K. And then we're going to drag a ruler down here to see where things are. So that less college needs some help. Let's select all of that. And Control-K to join that up. We'll call that less college. And then I'm just going to try to rotate it to see if I can't get it to be more even. There we go. And then we'll take that, align and distribute. We'll align that to the page. I'm going to grab this blue and link it up. And then this color and link it up. And these two objects, I'm going to make sure they're even. Center on horizontal axis. All right, I didn't want to change the placement. Just align that to the selection area. Okay, they're pretty centered. All right, and then let's do this to the drawing. I'll move them as a group. Okay. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, and we'll just name this one blue. And we'll name this one color. We'll select this whole thing down here. Control-K to join it. Call it dirty. Hands. We'll make sure it is centered. I did not think it was. And more trades is not centered either. So now we've got all of our paths rejoined. But I think because of the way this sits and the weight of it, I think it's fine that it's not centered. So we know we're going to take this college and move it up. Okay. Control-Shift-R to fit it to the new stage. And this time, I think Gemini wins. I just think that tassel's too big. I like the detail level of this tassel. Let's run with this one. So we'll download that. All right. So we will rename this one Skull Graduates. And we'll cut it and we'll put it in our folder, in our pieces. And we'll just bring it back into our Inkscape document. And I'm just making it big. It's not going to change much. And then we'll hit Trace Bitmap Apply. And we will delete that image. And we'll call this our Skull Graduates. Then we're going to stick him in here in the middle. So I'm holding Control and Shift, and then it'll scale proportionally. And we're just going to take our time positioning this. Really want it to fill that space as much as it can. And then I'm thinking about centering. I don't think we actually want to visually center this. I mean, I think we want to visually center it and not absolute center. I don't know. The absolute center looks pretty good. And I feel like the middle, I think it can be kicked over a little bit here. Let's just put it right in there. We'll let that point kind of go straight in there and let that chin go with that more trades. Okay. So now we've completed the black version of this design. I thought I was going to pull this into Photoshop, but there's no need. So we're just going to take this and we're going to save it in our folder. And we're going to name it the same as our folder name. And we're just going to add black. Or we're going to say for lights. This is the for lights version. All right, so this is the fun part of this. Now we need to convert this to the darks version. So let's take all of these elements and just get them out of our way. I'm going to hide them all so we can just look at our skull. And we're going to grab this skull and we're going to click on one of these outer vertices and we're going to Control A. And I struggle with this every single time, just kind of disclaimer. So I clicked an outer node and I Control A to select all the way around it in Inkscape. Control C, all right? And then I'm going to do Control Alt V. Nope, not yet. That's not right. There's me struggling again. Control Z. Okay, first, let's grab our skull graduate and let's give it a stroke. So we're going to give it a stroke. We're going to make it something we can see real well. And then we're going to give it a style. And I'm going to go 5 millimeter. Might be a little extreme. Let's change it so we can see what we've done. No, it's perfect. Okay. And then we're going to do path, stroke to path. And that's going to make it 2 objects. So one of these is our stroke. That's this one. And then this is our design. All right. And then with this stroke, we're going to edit it, and we're going to grab that outer rim, Control A, Control C. So it's just a little offset. And then we're going to do Object Mode, Control Alt V. Now we've got what I call the outline. Okay, and then we don't need our stroke anymore. We've got our design. We'll turn that on. And then this is another point that I struggle. I need to cut it out so that the white areas are shiny. So I'm just going to do path difference. And I think we got it. Yeah, we did. Okay. And then we're just going to change the fill here to white. All right. I'm going to put a black rectangle behind everything so that we can see what's going on. And I'll just move that to the bottom. And we don't need this stroke anymore. We'll just go ahead and delete it. But we can leave it. It's not hurting anything. And we'll turn on all our other layers. And we'll select all of those. And we'll change those to white. And we'll see how things line up. If we got too close. No, I think we're fine. I mean, we could just slightly kick this up. Give it, accommodate that little stroke we had it. All right, and so we can just turn off our rectangle. Well, we'll leave it on there. And we'll save this as for darks. Really close to being done now. Let's render our final images. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to delete this rectangle. And then we're going to export this for darks as a PNG. We're going to go 4,500 pixels. That's 15 inches. and just hit export. And then I'm just going to open recent. I'll go ahead and save this. It's fine. And then we'll open recent and we'll grab that for lights. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to export it 4,500 pixels and hit export. All right, so now we've got all of our parts. And we're just going to open this with Photoshop. And we're going to do image size. We're just changing it to 300 dpi. It's not actually changing the dimensions or the quality. It's just professional to take that step. And then we just hit save. And we'll do the same thing with our for lights or for darks. And we're just going to do image size. So one is going to work well on light shirts, and the other is going to work well on dark shirts. And we'll just hit save. See, that's going to look great on a dark shirt. Okay, there we go. Hey, thanks for watching my tutorials. I really appreciate it. I'm going to share these back with via Google Drive so that they don't lose any quality. I can't just paste them back in the group. And we want to download these images from the Google Drive links. Really appreciate you guys watching my tutorials. And most of all, I appreciate you placing your orders for DTF transfers with crystaldtf.com. Take care.